traveling again. So even on my way to a tax conference, I was listening in on a call for a professional organization that I am involved in that has a public-private partnership where it's basically tax technology products, about the upcoming filing season and what they're going to expect. As we all know, there is a new tax law that went into effect or is going into effect. And so the IRS, despite having government shutdowns, despite, not having significant employees, firing employees, they still have to be ready for the filing season, which is January 26th. For those of you who are going to participate in the tax system, e-filing opens on January 26th of 2026 for the 2025 tax year. However, I do want to talk about some of the things I heard on that call today. I know people are uncomfortable giving the government their bank information, specifically their routing and account number. However, on the call today with IRS officials, they confirmed that if you e-file and you do not list your routing and account number, you will get a letter from the service and they will not issue that refund until you respond, right? So if you respond, they will issue that refund within the next few business days after you respond, preferably through your irs.gov account if you're trying to speed up your refund. If you don't respond, it can take up to 60 days for them to issue your refund, and it will come via paper check. Now, there are ways to opt out if you have a religious exemption or you're unable to have a bank account. There's a few exceptions there. However, this is a PSA. If you do plan on filing, I know a lot of people on TikTok say they're not filing, not going to pay. But if you're due a refund, you have to file to get your refund. Now, another good point about participating in the system, especially if you're due a refund, for example, the last year, there is a statute of limitations on tax refunds. Okay, so it is 3 years from the due date of the return or 2 years from the payment date, whichever is later. So if you have withholdings, it's generally going to be 3 years from the return due date, unless you make like estimated payments recently or something like that. So think about that. If you plan on not filing, you don't want to lose out on a refund, okay? Especially due to the statute of limitations. I think refunds will probably be delayed this year. The government seems pretty, hell-bent that they got it together. I hope they do. Again, for all the taxpayers that are participating, people need the refunds, people need their money. If you're getting a large refund, you're not doing it right, okay? You should not be getting a huge refund. You need to adjust your withholdings to pay no more than you legally owe, but also not have a huge balance that you can't pay. So you should, at the beginning of the year, adjust your withholdings using your W-4. I know the tax strike, people are going exempt. That income's still going to get reported. You're still going to have to pay. Even if you don't file, that income's still going to get reported. Now, I heard a lot of people are going exempt, which again, I do not recommend because technically you're committing perjury, and putting it in a high yield savings account and then paying next year before April 15th or April 15th of 2027. I guess you could do that. However, you still will get an estimated tax payment penalty. So even if you pay by April 15th. Because some people make strategic decisions, whatever. So this is my PSA from this update. There's probably going to be a lot of good information at this conference I'm going to pass along. There is some important information about tax compliance and immigration, and if you're a naturalized citizen, how the Department of Justice is going to be targeting taxpayers. So I'm going to do some videos on that because I do think that's important information for people to know. So if you need the in the know about what's going on with tax policy, tax enforcement, tax laws, like, follow, and subscribe. And if you have a tax controversy issue, an issue with the IRS or Department of Justice, use the link in my bio to book an appointment. Always happy to chat.